Ship My Cards is your U.S. shipping address and secure storage facility. Every package is processed, photographed, and uploaded directly to your personal inventory. We securely store your collectibles until you're ready to ship them home or send them off to a buyer. With your membership, you save on postage and taxes, plus unlock access to exclusive collector services. Ship My Cards, your complete collector solution.
Hello world, I'm wearing a hat. That is how we're going to start this video. I'm wearing a Cajun Cardboard merch hat. The merch is on its way. The merch is almost 100% available. January 1st, Jonathan, is when you're going to be able to get your Cajun Cardboard shooting sleeve that you can wear when you do your training sessions to work on your jumper.
Oh, it's awesome.
So soon. Just right around the corner. It's not going to be.
Do I get my Patrick Ewing Cajun knee pads?
Yes, I've got some Cajun Cardboard knee pads as well for the volleyball players, wrestlers, and Patrick Ewing fans out there. I wish I got all the merch stuff done for Christmas, but I'm not going to get it done in time. It's going to be January 1, so it'll be a New Year's Day gift for loved ones, and we'll spread some New Year's Day holiday cheer. Today's episode is real simple. I wrote 5 questions down. I think these are kind of like current NBA topics, and so there's not going to be anything in today's episode about basketball cards. So if you don't want to hear two old guys, two basketball lifers talk about the current NBA and historical NBA, it's probably not going to be the video for you. So I'll save you about 45 minutes. But I've got 5 burning questions. You want to just get after it and go in order? Did you do any research at all?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, good
research. I did as much as I needed to.
Yeah, and I've got some screen share stuff that we can share because I think it'll help to kind of look and put some numbers on some of these issues. The first question, it came up because I watched a YouTube highlight of Zion Williamson in a game where his team was leading by 2 points with 30.4 seconds or something like that. The ball was swung to his man, who happened to be Najee Marshall, former teammate Najee Marshall, at the top of the key. And I literally watched Zion Williamson stare at him and then wander over in the general direction and not contest, not make any effort whatsoever on a wide open, what ended up being an uncontested 3 from the top of the key by Najee Marshall that did end up going in, and they end up losing.
Did you see what happened before that, though?
No.
Like, Cooper Flag had the ball, okay? And was looking to drive it, and Zion slid his feet, went to help, and I was like, oh, okay, he's playing, and then went to exactly what you just described, a walk out closeout.
Yeah,
unbelievable for the game.
Do you think it's I mean, he's a lazy ass. I don't know. I mean, look, we've got a large enough sample size. We're going to look at some numbers and look at his historical resume, but he's a lazy ass. Just human being, obviously. I don't know what else to say. I mean, people are gonna be like, he's an NBA player. He takes care of his body. He does this. He's got a bad injury. No, I just don't believe that because I've seen too many times where the guy does not play hard. And what's really funny is you thought if he came in and was just a maniacal demon, like the only other guy that's ever been shaped like him in the world is Charles Barkley, right? And so, and again, Charles Barkley in his later years wasn't exactly a speed demon, but during Barkley's younger years, I mean, he wanted to destroy everything in his path offensively. Defensively, he held his own despite being 6'4", 6'5", whatever you believe. Zion's just not that guy. He's just not the guy. Do you think it's just a character flaw? Like he just doesn't have it from birth, like in his genes? Or do you think it's from his upbringing where, and I say upbringing, he had so many yes people around him. Apparently, from what I've heard, the folks that were around him were looking for handouts. It was always, he was their meal ticket. He was, the best player on every team he ever played on. He was the best player on his high school team because he didn't play on a real high school team. He never really had to do anything, and everything was flashy in the social media era that he, kind of grew up in and became a man in. Just kind of promoted this, get the bag, and then you're good to go. He got the bag, dude. Is he just done?
Yeah, well, he's been done for a while. The Pelicans should have traded him 3 years ago, like we've been talking about, so they could have gotten something for him. Now that's over. I can only come to one conclusion. He can't really like basketball. I mean, there's no way.
And you know why we know that? Because we've coached for a combined how many years?
Shit, 60.
Okay, if I've coached for 20 and you've coached probably for 30, that's probably 50 for sure.
Yeah.
I've just seen it. Dude, we've seen it.
I talked to a couple people close to Ben Simmons not long
Okay.
ago.
Yeah.
And they both said the exact same thing, that Ben loves the things that come along with playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he doesn't love basketball.
Yep.
And that's very obvious, right? Because, I mean, both of those dudes in their own way were unicorns.
Yeah.
You know,
they
unicorns,
were.
you know.
Yeah. The world's already forgot about Ben Simmons.
Talents.
The world's already forgot about Ben Simmons.
Right.
People, he's a joke, right? He's obviously the butt of a joke, but people forget that, you know, he was an all NBA guy. He was an all defense guy. He was a walking triple-double guy. At one point, I remember uttering these words: y'all can forget about the triple-double record because Ben Simmons is going to double it. I literally thought that Ben Simmons, at this point in his career, he would be in his 10th year right now. I literally thought Ben Simmons would have 450 triple-doubles. If
he never added a 15-foot jumper,
and
he just decided to play and go, he's 16, 10, and 9 for his career.
Agree. Totally agree. Maybe even 14, 10 and 10 or something like that. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was a 6'10" Rajon Rondo. You know, that's what he could have been. Only he could have been even more elite defensively just because of his size. Okay,
Zion, to me, tell me what your thought is on this. Zion's the closest thing. The only thing that we've ever seen that dominant around the rim in our lifetime was Shaq.
Well, Giannis.
That's true. Sorry. And Giannis. Yeah. Okay. So those two guys and both of those guys, one of them 7'1", the other one 6'11", and this dude's 6'6", right? But like anything 5 feet in, he dunked. Like it was, and I had never seen anything like it at that size. People realize they try to make the comparisons with Barkley. Barkley was smaller than him. Like, you know, like Barkley
way smaller. Yeah.
Right? And so when Barkley was in shape, I say in shape for whatever he was.
Yeah, whatever he was.
6'4.5", 6'5", because I actually stood next to him. I never forget this, in Birmingham. Just because I was like, we were out at a club and I happened to see him there. I was like, I got to see how tall this dude is. And I walked by him and he was maybe a bump taller than me, maybe. And so I was like, okay, that's real. So at 6'5", 250, let's get this dude. I mean, Zion's 6'6", 275 at the lightest.
Yeah, 275, 280, you know, depending on.
So, I don't know, man. I just don't think he likes basketball. He can't.
So the question wasn't, is Zion a lazy ass or does he like basketball? The burning question is, you've got to win a 7-game series. And Zion is what led me to this burning question. The burning question is, who you choosing to win a 7-game series for you, Ja Morant or Zion Williamson?
Ja Morant. And if Zion were right, I would choose Zion 7 days out of 7. Okay. But he's not.
Right mentally or right physically?
Really just mentally, honestly. I mean, even if he were heavy, like healthy. I mean, look at what he was doing to the Lakers. Was that 2 years ago, last year in the play-in game or whatever it was? He had 40 through 3 quarters. They couldn't do anything with him. I'll take Ja just because I think Ja's gonna play hard the whole time at least. You know.
See, I don't know, man.
Play.
I don't think so, Jonathan. I think those days are over for that kid as well. I think he got his bag. I think he hates the media. I think his teammates are sick of his act. I think the management's sick of him. I don't think any money in Memphis wants that dude around. And I think he's basically throwing a little tantrum because his upbringing is the exact same as Zion. He had a bunch of people around him. Now, the difference is he wasn't as big a name as early as Zion. He wasn't a YouTube sensation as early, but he did become one. And you know what? The whole city of Memphis catered to the dude, you know, for the longest time. He's just not mature enough. He's just not a mature human being.
We're not arguing. I don't want either one of them, but you're making me choose.
Yeah, I'm making you choose. You're choosing Zion if he's healthy, if his mind's right.
Yeah, but his mind's never right. So that's my point. I'm gonna take Ja. If I don't see a world that exists where what you saw with Zion on that closeout, I still don't think Ja does that.
I do.
And maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think it's identical. And I think that's why this comparison's great. Now, let me ask you this question. This is just like an offshoot of the general question. Like, if you're asking me who I would choose, you know, if they were playing for maybe Buffalo Wings or something like that, I would choose Zion. There's no doubt about it. But if they're just playing to win the 7-game series in pride, I mean, I would hope that, Morant's at least been there and done that, sort of. I say that. The dude, I think, has only won 9 playoff games. He's only won one series. But we got this, right? Remember the famous quote? We got this. The West, we're not worried about the West.
Yeah.
Bitch, you better be worried about the West because you're the 13th best team in it.
By the way. Yeah.
By the way. Anyway, so long story short. So I think I did this calculation, and if there was like 574 potential games. By the way, do you realize both these guys, same draft class, so you can compare apples to apples. These guys are in their 7th NBA season. Do you realize that?
So crazy. You told me that the other day with Ja, and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. Guess how many times
here,
Yeah. So when you think about Zion, all you think about is injuries and what could have been and all this and that, right? Zion has played 224 games in 7 seasons. Okay. Wow. John Morant has played 319. So John Morant's played more. John Morant has never played 70 games in a season. He's never played 70 games in a season. Believe it or not, Zion had a season where he did play 70 games. Neither one of these guys, like I've got them pulled up right here, like historically, career-wise. I mean, you would agree, both of these guys, the word bust can't be used, obviously, because when we say bust, we think Kwame Brown, we think Anthony Bennett, we think, Odin because of injuries only. These guys, I wouldn't call them busts, but you know what? We call Ben Simmons a bust, and Ben Simmons.
They're disappointments. They're disappointments.
They're disappointments. Like if you redrafted, knowing what you know now, I mean, I'd have to go back and look at that 2019 draft, but I don't know if they've been the most productive 2 players in that draft. I'm trying to think who else was in there.
Yeah, I don't know who else.
I have to go back and look at that. We're going to start doing some redraft videos where we just go redraft it. We redraft it. So you would take Zion. I would probably take John Morant for 1 series. I would never take a tiny person to win, obviously, a championship because only one's ever done it. Yeah. Isaiah, your favorite player.
Huh.
But that's burning question number 1. All right, you went with Zion. What about question number 2?
I did not go with Zion. Remember, I told you if he were mentally right, which I said.
Okay.
I said I'm taking John.
Who's got more trade value right now, John Morant or Zion?
God, who cares? I don't know. The problem is,
well, you better care because both of them are not. There's just no way these guys are on these teams next year. I mean, it's some
correct.
If it's not this trade deadline, it's next summer.
Do you think Zion? Okay, if Zion's healthy, just healthy, okay, do you think he still can put up? He can still put up numbers, right?
23-7.
Okay, but I don't think Ja can play basketball anymore.
It doesn't look like he can play basketball anymore. Everything is gone down for Ja, and that's why I say I'm worried a little bit about his attitude as well, because physically, it can't just be physical that his I think it was like his rim attacks have gone, or his percentage of shots at the rim has gone down every single season for 7 consecutive seasons. Yes. And by the way, what if I asked you, hey, which one of those 2 guys is a better 3-point shooter?
You would think Ja for sure.
But one would think he's not.
It's crazy.
That's crazy, right? Yeah. That's. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like at some point, figure it out. Just go take rep after rep. You've got to get a little bit better. Hell, Jason Kidd went from not being able to sniff a 3-point shot to being up in the list of the greatest, or not the greatest, but a lot of made 3-pointers, right?
Dude, Lonzo Ball shoots the ball from the left side of his face.
Changed his whole shot and is a better shooter than John Morant. Like I gotta believe that just comes from not working very hard. I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, maybe
it's got to be. Got to be.
All right, burning question number 2. And this is an interesting one, and it's probably not going to be high on the list of the folks that are watching, but if you're a deep diver, if you're a fantasy or a basketball card investor, you're going to like this question. Dylan Harper or Reed Shepherd, which one of these 2 guys are you taking for your team over the next 10 years? Let's say you just get them for 10 years, man. I get them on a nice contract for 10 years. Who you taking between those 2 guys? You got to decide right now. Small sample size city, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've waffled back and forth a little bit on this one.
Yep.
Initially, my knee-jerk reaction was Dylan Harper, okay, which tells you where I'm going. But, Reed Shepherd, we saw him in the first game of the year. He looked scared to death against when they played
OKC. Oh, it was the Thunder, my friend. Don't worry. I won't forget that game. It was the Thunder.
And looked scared to death. I have seen him play several times since then. He has dog in him. He is athletic. He shoots the piss out of it. I think I I don't know. I feel like he's a dude who for 10 years, he may end up being a 16 or 17 point a game guy, 7 assists. I can see that. I can see him being the starting point guard on a really good team that's a contender. And so I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take Shepherd right now. I think I've seen a little more than we've been able to see out of Harper today. So
Dylan Harper's a point guard for sure.
Oh, he's a combo. What is a point guard? What is that anymore? It's a combo.
Yeah,
He's a combo.
It is Reed Shepherd a point guard for sure.
I mean, he's a combo. He's a super poor man's Steph Curry, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was going to ask you. Like Cracker Curry is the kind of the the tag that we gave him is, and obviously we're getting a little over our skis here because he hasn't played long enough to even be mentioned like that. But when you think of like the way that he kind of creates a space with the shot, but again, I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I would probably go with Reed Shepherd just based on what I've seen of him this year. Because here's the way I look at it. Well, you can say the same thing about Dylan Harper. Those guys are both on loaded rosters. Like, people don't realize that San Antonio team, like, Dylan Harper steps in. You got De'Aaron Fox, who should have made an all-star team. He's basically an all-star point guard, a 20-point-per-game scorer, right? A legit top half of the league, top 15 point guard. We'll say that easily. Devin Vassell is a really good player. Yep. Stephon Castle is turning into be a lot better player than I thought after, the lamest rookie of the year ever, other than Brogdon. Yep. And then you've got Keldon Johnson is a really good basketball player. I know he's probably not a starter level player, but you're talking about wings. And then of course you got Wemby at the 5, but he stepped into a pretty damn good roster. Reed Shepherd obviously is in a filthy loaded roster. Thank God for the Van Vliet injury, or we might not even be seeing this much of Reed Shepherd. But if you put either one of these dudes on Washington, aren't they averaging 20 a game? Aren't they just going to do what Jordan Poole did?
Yeah, they are, and probably more efficiently as well. And I think the hard thing is for basketball people, when you look at Reed Shepherd, just when you look at him, you go, okay, no way. There's just no way, right? He looks like a choir boy.
Yeah, here's my do my tax returns. Let me know when you're finished.
Yeah. Whereas you look at Dylan Harper and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough deal. I'm gonna go with Shepherd just because I've seen more at this point.
Reed Shepherd and Dylan Harper, the best player on the Wizards if you put them on that. If they get traded today.
Yeah, I think so.
Best player on the
Bucks
Nets.
without Giannis. Yes.
On the Nets. Yeah, the Bucks without Giannis for sure.
Best player on the Nets. I don't know. Michael Porter Jr. is having a heck of a year right now.
He is having a good year. Yeah, but who would you take?
I'd rather them. Yeah,
I'd rather them too, just from upside. Yeah. All right, so we're talking about Houston. We're talking about Reed Shepherd, who is maybe the 4th, 5th best player on Houston, whatever, depending on your opinion. Sure. Does Houston get 3 All-Stars this year? Şengün is in. He's a lock.
Yep.
Kevin Durant makes it every year. He's, I guess, a lock, right?
Yeah, he's a lock. Both those guys are locks.
So the question is, does Amen Thompson make the All-Star team? Because he's the only other one that can make an All-Star team.
So there are. You're going to have to remind me, is there 12 or 15 All-Star spots?
Well, here's the deal. Remember, they're doing America versus the world.
Oh, that's right.
And I swear I thought that they changed it to 15. Let's look together.
I think it's 8-8-8. I think that's what they're doing.
What are you talking about?
You sure it's not 8 on one team, 8 on another, 8 on the European team?
I think they got rid of that bullshit.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a big difference, right? Because if you have 30 spots for Americans, then they're definitely getting 3.
15 spots for Americans. Okay. Selections will be made without regard to position. 2 U.S. teams and 1 international team. What?
Yes, so that's what I'm asking.
But that can't be right. The top 2 teams. Hold on. What? Let me show you.
I got to know how many are on each team.
24 All-Stars, 12 from each conference will be selected. Selection will be positionless. Starters are chosen by fan player media votes. Reserves are chosen by the coaches. If the initial selections don't result in the required number of U.S. 16 and international 8. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. There's only 8 international players?
Well, no, because you have 2 teams. There's 8 on each of the 3 teams. You have 2 American teams.
Yeah.
1 European team or international team.
That's my point, though. You can only have 8 international All-Stars?
Yeah, because you're only having 8 Americans on one team and 8 Americans on the other team.
Yeah, I know. I get that. So you're getting 16 Americans and 8 foreigners, and the freaking best players in the league are all foreign.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. But are there 16 international all-stars in your opinion?
Yeah.
You think so?
You want to go through the list? Dude, are you crazy? Yes.
16? Really?
There's more than 8. I can tell you that.
I agree with that. I'm not sure there's 16, though. That's all I'm getting at.
Oh, bro. I don't know about that. I think you can get to 16 pretty damn easily for sure. I don't know. That's another video. That'd be a great video to do. Well, we're going to pick our all-stars. We're going to pick our all-stars. We get to January, we'll start looking at that kind of stuff. Okay. So Bernie question, you're taking Reed Shepherd. I'm taking Reed Shepherd. I wish we'd have seen Dylan Harper play the whole season. Yeah. Thing is, even if we had seen him play the whole season, you know, he doesn't have the usage rate that he's going to have one day in his career. But if you're San Antonio, you're moving Fox at some point and getting off that contract and letting and handing Harper the ball, or at least that's the game plan, you think?
I think that's the direction. Well, obviously, it's the decision you have to make. It's really the only one, right? So, and you have to see what Harper's capable of doing. Fox is how old now? Like 28? Is he 30 yet? He's not 30
He's
yet.
Still young. I mean, he was a rookie in 2017, so he's in his 9th year. He came in after 1 season, so let's say he's 27. Let's say maybe 28. Yeah, you know, that's not a concern. You know, he's still on the upside. But the thing is, I think he's under contract, and he gets into the 50s, maybe the 60 millions. I think he's got maybe 3 more years on that thing. I'm gonna have to look at that.
I just wonder, you know, he's as good as he is going to be, right? He's not going to get a lot better, Fox isn't.
Right.
But he's really freaking good. That's the thing. Like Dylan Harper's got a long, long way to go to be as good as De'Aaron Fox in the NBA.
Yeah. You know? Well, there you go. When this is all said and done, if we're going to re-record this video in 2035, is Dylan Harper a better player historically than –
or is Castle, or is Gasol, or
we don't know. Yeah,
you know, that's the thing. Going back to your Houston though, with 3 all-stars, based on what you have, if it's 2 teams of 8, if it's 16,
so Şengün goes to the international.
He's on the other
Morant
side.
Goes to the American, which leaves a spot for Amen Thompson.
I don't know, man. Maybe he. I guess with that setup, with Şengün going international, then he could get in at that point. Yeah. So he probably do. They probably do get 3, man. They really do. I don't know what are Thompson's numbers right now. I know he's
I think they're like I think he's like 16 and a half, 6 and 6, something like that. 16, 6 and 6. I don't think that's enough.
Yeah.
And it'd be one thing if the Rockets were like, you know, 19 and 3, but they're 13 and 5.
Yeah.
But they're only 2 games out of being in 7th. So it's like it might hinge on team success. It might be one of those deals where, you know, if the Rockets get to 2nd place in the West, and they're going to pass the Lakers because the Lakers they're smoke and mirrors right now. They're not. That's not going to last. So if the Lakers drop, and let's say Houston gets where everybody thinks they're going to be, which is 2nd or 3rd, depending on what Denver does, right? Denver doesn't have Aaron Gordon, so they're dropping like a rock. Denver's in 5th now. If they don't, like, you might have a decision like, well, Devin Booker's going to get in because they're kind of in the mix. But then you've got teams down here like Lauri Markkanen. You know, the Jazz are awful. The Jazz are going to be terrible. But he's going to be on the foreign side. He's going to be on the foreign side. We're looking for Americans.
Other side.
You know, nobody on Sacramento. Nobody. I mean, James Harden. You're going to have to choose between James Harden and Amen Thompson.
Well, James Harden's had a better year.
I know that, but James Harden is on the shitty, you know, the second shittiest team in the league. And Amen Thompson, if they do surge and they're 2nd in the West, you're going to have to make that decision between Amen Thompson and a James Harden for one of those 16 American spots, right?
Yeah, I think so. He could get
give
in.
it to James Harden.
15 spots, because if Durant's in, that leaves you 15 spots. Is that dude one of the 15 best Americans?
Well, we know no, of course not. We know he's not, but we also know that the All-Star team is not necessarily the best players. Like Kyle Korver made it one year, for God's sakes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you know, there's a bunch of bullshit that goes with it. We both know that.
Yeah.
But there's no regard for East and West.
No, it said from each conference. It said 12 from each conference.
I don't understand.
You're going to have an East team, a West team.
No,
and then
you're not.
And then a international team.
No. Oh, you think you have an East American, a West American, and then an international regardless of conference?
That's what I think is
okay.
Is
I read it, and I still don't freaking understand it, to be quite honest with you. I just don't get it. A round-robin tournament with 4 12-minute games. Each of the 3 teams will play each other once. The top 2 teams by record will advance to the championship game. If there is a tie for the top 2 spots, the tiebreaker, none of this makes any sense to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, Houston, because
this is just stupid. Why are we doing international and American? Like, do they think that's going to inspire people to play harder? That's the dumbest shit ever. This is I don't understand how somebody's so smart, and there's so many intelligent people running the NBA, and they're marketing, they're doing great from a marketing standpoint, could be so stupid. Change it back to the old way, pay them an exorbitant amount of money, and or provide some type of reward as far as home court advantage or something like that. Give somebody something that actually matters and a reason to risk their health to play the game. And they'll play it.
Yeah, they will. And here's the discussion that really needs to be had, okay, based on this split. And I heard this, it was Jason Williams, White Chocolate, was talking about the other day on I think it was on Pat Bev's podcast, which I don't know how I caught this clip, but Pat Bev was saying, which I actually agreed with him for once in his life, about how if you took the best international players and you put them against the best Americans, the international team would win, right? And Jason Williams was like, no way, you're crazy. This is America, blah, 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 blah. Dude, here's the deal. If you put 8 international players, the top 8, it's not like, and you put them in a 7-game series, it's not would they sweep them. It's how badly would they win every game.
Like, you got Jokic, SGA, and Giannis. Well, there's 3. That's a
Doncic.
3-headed. Then you got Doncic. Oh my God.
The top 4 MVP candidates, dude. What are we talking about? Şengün, Markkanen. We're missing guys. I mean, it's not. You have the 4 best players in the world.
You got Markkanen's a perfect fit for the 5th, right? Because you don't need another guy that's going to want the ball every time. You got Doncic, SGA, Giannis, Markkanen, and Jokic. So you got
4 best players in the world.
You got 3 7-footers, a 6'8" point guard, a 6'7" point guard, and then shooting. You got anything and everything. You got nastiness. You got passing. You would have, I guess, Cade Cunningham and Anthony Edwards in the backcourt for the other team. Maybe Brunson off the bench. Jaylen Brown would be in the mix. Jalen Duren would be the center.
Steph's on the team. Durant's on the team.
By the way, you left out a pretty good foreigner named Victor Wembanyama.
Holy crap. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. So let's start Victor at the 4 and Giannis at the 3.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Şengün, the second best center in the NBA, can just wait his ass on the bench. Right.
Good luck getting a rebound or a shot at the rim.
With Giannis and Victor. Hey man, I'm still holding out hope. Giannis is starting to play the game where he's talking about, you think if you had to bet, is he on the Bucks next year? What percentage chance is he's on the Bucks next year? Okay, that's a 0. We agree on that.
Correct.
What percentage chance he gets traded at this deadline instead of in the summer?
I think it's 50.
You think there's a 50% chance?
Yeah.
All right, so this is getting way off topic. What teams? Okay, so I heard that when they plug it into the algorithm, some random algorithm, Oklahoma City is favored in every single game for the rest of the season.
Yep.
And they're 20-1.
By the way.
But they're somehow projected only to win 68 games. Okay?
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
You think they're winning? You think they're going to break the record? You think they're winning 70?
I don't think they're going to break the record, but I'm just saying, you're 20-1, you're favored in every game. How can you be projected to win 68?
What does that leave? 82, 61. There's 61 games left.
Yeah.
So they can only lose 7. If they lose 7, they break the record.
Yes.
So they got to go 53-7.
Well, if they're 54-7.
54-7
breaks the record. Yeah, right.
Yeah, 54-7. Okay, so my question was, so that's all that. What teams? They're the prohibitive favorite. They're the biggest favorite that I can recall the Celtics were a pretty big favorite the year they won it, but nothing like this is the craziest thing ever. I just did a video on how just set and stacked they are. You got to watch the video. Right. What are the teams that Giannis could go to that would, upset the apple cart, that would flip that script, and maybe that 7-game series would become something? It would almost have to be a team in the East.
I disagree. I understand the OKC thing for sure. And I'm not even talking about this year. I don't think it's a this year thing.
You don't think there's any team this year where Giannis could appear in February on that roster and they become a 50-50 with the Thunder?
Actually, yeah, I'm going to take that back. I think there are.
I got a team.
There are, because think about it. The Thunder were taking a 7 twice last year. I mean, the Pacers took them to 7. People forget that.
The Pacers had them on the ropes when my man tore his Achilles.
Right, exactly. And then obviously the Nuggets took them to 7. But I think the 2 teams that I see would be the Spurs, obviously,
That's the one.
And I think the Warriors, man, I think he goes to Golden State. I think it can change things. But again, then you're relying on Steph's health. In the East, to me, it would be the Knicks.
See, I think in the East, yeah, but if he goes to the Knicks, you're losing Bridges and Anunoby or something crazy like that.
Cat. You're losing Cat, I think, and
then you're going to roll with Mitchell Robinson being healthy. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think the East is prime.
Well, I've got a team in the East that nobody's talking about, and keep in mind, this is if you can plug in Giannis and only give up Risa Shea, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah,
you got Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Giannis, Jalen Johnson.
The Hawks are a fraud. Like I've said from the beginning, they are a fraud.
That's fine. Are they a fraud if you plug Giannis in and lose Risa Shea and some shithead and then this pick?
Trae Young is going to be involved in whatever trade they do. He is. That move is coming.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I just don't think. I mean, Jalen Johnson, is their best player, and it's not close.
I agree with you.
And he's the third best player on a championship team right now, which is a lot more than I ever thought I would say about him, honestly.
Jonathan, you're telling me, okay, let's say Trae Young is out the door, and let's say they just trade Trae Young and the number 1 overall pick, or whatever the pick is going to be, right? The one from the Pelicans, the coveted pick swap deal. Yeah. Let's say they trade Trae Young and that pick and pick another, and let's say Risa Shea, take him. You can have Risa Shea, right? There's another number 1 pick. So 2 number 1 picks possibly, and then Trae Young. They're out. Yep. So your starting lineup, you're telling me your starting lineup is now Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and Kristaps Porzingis at the 5, and you don't think that team is a problem?
To beat the Thunder?
Yes.
No.
To beat the Thunder?
No.
I think that team's a effing problem, bro.
I think that is a slight upgrade from where he is right now. That's a slight upgrade from where he is right now. Obviously, those dudes, Porzingis, if he's healthy, which I don't ever.
How can you say Giannis is a slight upgrade?
No. I'm talking about what's around him is a slight upgrade from where he's coming from. Milwaukee's terrible.
Hold on. We've talked through this before.
No, listen to me. Okay. Porzingis is never going to stay healthy. That's what I'm basing a lot of this on. And then Jalen Johnson is, okay, he's a good player. Don't talk to me about Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dyson Daniels, who should be coming off of the bench for a championship team. They're good players. And I know that pains you to say that about Dyson Daniels, but
it does pain me.
they're rotational guys on a championship team.
There's no doubt the better option is San Antonio, because if they can somehow make it happen, for a Vassell and a Keldon Johnson and Sohan and some picks or something like that, and keep Harper, Fox, Castle, Giannis, Wemby. Now it's over, dude. It's a wrap. That is filthy. Defensively, now they're on par with a historically great team like the Thunder defensively, and offensively,
and don't need spacing at that point,
dude.
You don't even need it.
That's something right
there.
They
can be playing beach volleyball in the lane back and forth.
They could be playing beach volleyball. What about a Giannis Wembanyama screen and roll? How much would you pay to watch that? That's like video game orgasm right there. Like literally moisture on the video game seat when you're playing Wembanyama and Giannis.
What about
pick and roll?
What about simple high-low, like old school UCLA cut high-low? Wembanyama catches and Giannis is sealing right in front of the rim. You're not going to stop him from sealing right in front of the rim, and you better guard Wembanyama. And so when you get up on him, he's just going to throw it over. Like, what do you do with that if you have shooters in the corner? Like, what do you do? It's just a problem, dude.
Okay, well, this kind of leads us to the next burning question, and this is really an open-ended question, and it's like, if you had to pick any franchise in the NBA to take over, and just try to keep your job, right? The position, the franchise best positioned, I don't think it's even close, and I think historically it's the greatest position any franchise has ever been in the history, or at least in my 51 years on Earth, right? Yeah. The Oklahoma City Thunder. You can't take the Thunder. The next best positioned franchise as it pertains to current roster, draft assets, coaching, front office, location, free agency destination, salary cap, what conference they're in, all that stuff. Consider all the factors. What's the next franchise you're taking over right now as it's currently constituted?
I think it's obvious that we would take the Spurs. Okay. And I think the next one, like honestly, as I looked at this,
I'm super excited to announce that the Cajun Cardboard brand has added another affiliate partner. It's BCW Supplies. You can find them at bcwsupplies.com for all of your card collecting, protecting, and display needs. Penny sleeves, top loaders, boxes, anything you need. There's page after page of supplies at BCW. Just make sure at checkout you use the promo code CAJUN, CAJUN, to get 10% off of your order.
Ironically, the one they're not close to San Antonio for me, but if I were to list the next ones, it would probably be like Houston. Shockingly enough, it might be Detroit. Teams like that. But it's the Spurs to me, and it's not close.
Detroit's got some salary cap room to do some stuff. They can bring Markkanen in. That's not something you would do.
Man, I don't know, because you know how I feel about scoring in the playoffs, and they need that, and he can do that, for sure. Cade needs help if they're going to get. See,
I'm not cost you Ivy. It's not going to cost you Ivy and Alsar Thompson, but it's going to cost you Ivy for sure.
For sure, and that's fine.
And then a bunch of picks.
Yeah.
I
just look. Who would you rather have? So the East is it's kind of a misnomer this year, right? Because it's not real. Because
would they immediately become the favorites in the East? Do you think a Markkanen for Ivy and a bunch of picks trade would make them the favorites in the East? I know they're leading the East now without all that, but I mean,
I don't know. I would put them number one because they're a lot better right now than I thought they were going to be.
Or they put the Knicks to the test last year.
Yeah, it was a problem. That's right.
A team you're not talking about, and I'm telling you, I got to go back to it.
Toronto.
Atlanta might get the number one overall pick, Jonathan. I'm just telling you, dude.
True.
They might get the number one pick, and if they get the number one pick and they can add Darren Peterson and then get something back for Trae Young.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, that is ridiculous.
That Trae Young move is going to be key for them because that has to happen because they've maxed that out with him. So I think, and look, don't get me wrong. I think Trae Young is a hell of an NBA player. Okay. I really do. I mean, offensively, he's absurd.
Yes.
But I just don't think you're going to win a title with him as your best dude. And I know they talk about defense and you can't hide him and he's always going to be a liability. Well, dude, there's so many guys like that in the league that have won titles, right? Because they're surrounded by, I mean, he could be on a title team for sure. He'd be the second best player probably, but I don't know. He's both underrated and overrated at the same time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Some other good franchises that we didn't mention. Orlando is a nice franchise.
Yes.
Toronto is got a bunch of assets that fit weird, but they're playing well. They're playing hard. They're long. They're playing. I think they're trying to replicate what Oklahoma City does. They just don't have SGA, right? Their SGA is Ingram, and that's not the same. And then their next guy is Barnes, and he's probably not quite Jalen Williams. And then, Chet kind of makes everything work in Oklahoma City.
Denver's won just because of Jokic, right? I mean, if you're thinking about it, it's not I understand they're not
10th year.
Like OKC,
he's in his 10th year, and how much does he love it?
I think he loves it a lot more than people think. Because
I think he likes horses. I think he likes horses and food and beer.
That's obvious, but I'm starting to get the feel that when you get better every year after your first MVP, you must be putting some work in somewhere. And he's gotten better every year since his first MVP.
Oh, there's no question about that. It's just, yeah.
So,
I just worry about what happens to Jokic when his athleticism fades, Jokic loves horses. Jonathan, if you had a horse over in Five Oaks Estates where you live with all the other rich folks, right? And you live in the richest neighborhood in the city.
Yep.
Over in that neighborhood, let's just say the neighborhood restrictions permitted you to have a horse.
Okay.
And you had a horse in your backyard, not a thoroughbred. You can't race the horse, but just a pet horse. Yeah. What would you name your horse?
Zeus.
Oh God.
And I would put a big Z in his side.
I would name
black.
I would name my horse Lieutenant Smuckers.
Okay. You would. And Zeus in a fight to the death, it would not take long.
How would a horse kill another horse? All they could do is turn their ass to each other and kick backwards, right? Horses, I guess they could get up on their, but they don't bite each other. Do horses bite things to protect themselves, or do they just kick them?
I don't know. But I think mine would run through Lieutenant Smuckers.
Somehow. You imagine a scenario where Zeus bites a neighbor and maybe there's some contentious, like I've never heard of a horse. Oh man, I got bit by a horse. He was a great athlete, and then he got bit by a horse. You never hear that.
Yeah, you've heard, people getting kicked by horses.
Kicked by horses. You never hear them getting bit by horses.
That's interesting.
Or strangled by a horse.
But I gotta think if I carved a Z in this horse's side,
dude,
it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, the potential is limitless. If you had a pet horse, there's so many directions we could go. All right, let's spend a good bit of time here. We're gonna wrap this with. It's going to be historical. So we're done with current stuff. We're now talking about historical stuff. One of the greatest point guards to ever do it, to ever lace him up, announced that this is going to be his last year. And honestly, I think most people thought he already retired because he's in Los Angeles playing for the Clippers and he can't get on the floor.
They released him. They just released him.
Wait, when?
I saw it this morning.
I bet he asked for that.
Had to.
I did not, Jonathan. I totally missed the boat on that. I did not hear that. Okay, good. Breaking news. Shams Pixley has announced that they have released Chris Paul, so he's going to get picked up somewhere.
Yep.
Interesting. I asked ChatGPT for the top 10 point guards of all time. The burning question is, where is Chris Paul all time?
Yes.
He can't be 1.
No.
And he can't be 2 if Steph Curry is a point guard. No. Okay. ChatGPT chose Oscar Robertson 3, Isaiah 4, and Chris Paul 5. Talk to me about these 3 players. And is this the 3, 4, 5 you would have? What about John Stockton? What about Jason Kidd?
Yep.
Let's go through the rest of ChatGPT's list. What about Nash, 2-time MVP? What about Clyde Frazier? Shocker at number 9. Right. What about Russell Westbrook? No mention of Gary Payton, obviously. Westbrook probably needs to be ahead of Clyde Frazier. There's going to be an emphasis on winning things, and Westbrook hadn't done that yet. Stockton never did that. Paul never did that. Isaiah did. Oscar got one with Kareem, I believe, and got an MVP. Isaiah never won an MVP. Paul never did, but was in the mix for maybe a little 2 or 3 year period there.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on 3, 4, and 5? Are we in agreement that Magic and Curry are 1, 2?
They are, unless you let me do what I would do, which is make LeBron the greatest point guard of all time. But
you can't make LeBron the best point guard of all time.
That's
he's
fine.
He's not a point guard. Every team he's ever played on, there's been a point guard.
And it's him. Right.
No, it's not him. It's not him.
When
He's always had a point guard every team he's played on.
When you're the person who dribbles the ball up the floor and makes every decision, you're the point guard. Yeah.
That's not true.
That's silly, and you know it. Okay, he's been the point guard on every team he's played since he entered the league, without question.
Is Giannis a point guard?
At this point for the Bucks, he sure is.
Is Giannis in the top 10 point guards of all time?
He would be if he played 5 more years at point
He
guard.
would be if he was a point guard, but he's not a point guard. Neither is LeBron. So no.
But anyhow,
right?
okay. So obviously LeBron, we're not going to talk about
release LeBron's nuts for a second. And let's just actually talk about point guards.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's happening on this channel. It's almost like you're coming out and announcing that you are now a LeBron fan. Can we just talk about actual point guards? People. I don't know if Steph Curry's a point guard.
We can do it as people who are labeled point guards, sure. Because you would agree this. I know you would agree with this. James Harden should be on this list.
James Harden's a point guard. James Harden is 100%, and I am not a James Harden fan. He is not a winner. He has shrank. He has disappeared. He's the invisible man when it matters. James Harden is a top 10 point guard of all time, right? Again, depending on your priorities. If your priorities are winning a playoff series and coming up big in clutch situations, he might not be your guy. But if you're just talking about, numbers on paper, no doubt, regular season wise, James Harden is definitely a top 10 point guard somewhere in there all time. Oscar Robertson, let's just go back to the very first 2. Let's talk about Magic and Curry.
No reason to. That's a wrap. That's a done deal for sure.
For sure.
No question. I mean, who else are you thinking to fit
I'm talking about the order of those 2.
Oh, no. Let's not do that.
Okay. Okay, I'm asking. Yeah. There's people out there who think Curry has taken the title as the greatest point guard of all time.
And in this era, it's the LeBron MJ deal, right? So in the era, I think, people forget Magic went to 9 finals, won 5. Steph has won 4. There's no question about that. Been to 5. Lost 1, right, in Toronto. That was it. So.
Wait, no, he lost 1 to LeBron.
2, so 6.
Okay.
He's been to 6. That's right. And Magic was 3-time MVP. Steph 2. It's just anyhow greatest passer ever. If you had to pick a point guard, who are you picking on your team, Magic or Steph?
Yeah, I'm probably taking Magic.
Yeah, I think.
So Steph gets squeezed out because there's an argument Steph's not a point guard. There's an argument that Steph's a shooting guard. If you move him over to the shooting guard category, well, he's definitely not going to be the best shooting guard ever.
No, and he's not.
Well, here's the question. This is the same kind of question, Steph and Kobe.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's not go there right now.
No, we'll piss everybody off, no matter what we decide, because those are the two of the most beloved players of all time. And, we very matter-of-factly, don't think they're number one, obviously shooting guard. Right. But poor Steph, he's going to get squeezed out no matter what position you put him in. He's not going to be the greatest at anything except shooting a basketball, which is pretty important the last time I checked.
Yeah. So I'll go Steph 2. I can get with Oscar Robertson 3 just from a historical standpoint. Obviously, his numbers are absurd. He did win it. I can do that.
Wait, are Oscar's numbers for sure better than Chris Paul?
Oh, it's not. That's not close.
Okay, I don't know. I think we should. I've got Chris Paul pulled up with a bunch of other players. I did not pull up Oscar and Chris Paul, but we're about to compare Chris Paul to a bunch of people, and Chris Paul blows most people out of the water. I just want you to be aware of that.
No, I know. But Oscar Robertson's numbers.
Oscar Robertson is also the best Oscar to ever play.
That is for sure. I have to think. Oscar Robertson, keep in mind, I know he averaged a triple-double 1 year, and it was the first person to do it. Over a 5-year period, he averaged a triple-double.
Yeah, he's better.
Yeah, it's not close. So I'll take Oscar Robertson. Yeah, I'm going to take Oscar Robertson because like all the effective field goal percentage and true shooting and all that stuff, of course, it's going to lean towards today's player. We know that.
Yeah, because there's more space and you can't, rape people.
If you made me go back to the list, okay, as much as we don't like this individual, Isaiah Thomas was the best player on a championship team twice in what we would argue is the toughest era to win a title with those Celtics teams and Lakers teams and the Bulls coming on and the Sixers still hanging around.
Shit, dude, they had other teams too. The Sixers were still wandering around. Those Cavs teams were a damn problem as well. I mean, they're
good. All those teams were good. And they won.
Blazers were good. Yeah,
they won twice. Now his numbers pale in comparison. We know that to some of these other guys. But if you made me say, who's my point guard? And I'm also going to go with the greatest player of all time, who says, even though he can't stand him, Michael Jordan said, Magic Johnson's the greatest of all time, and Isaiah Thomas is next.
Yeah. I wonder if Jordan would change his tune now after Curry concluded his career. But just numbers wise, Chris Paul obliterates Isaiah.
Yeah,
obliterates.
Not close. Yeah.
And longevity helps too. And again, you got to remember, Chris Paul's numbers are being dragged down by being a fossil, right? These twilight years destroy a player's numbers. What about Chris Paul and John Stockton, right?
So there's my guy. And so when you ask me to come up with, what is Chris Paul, a top what? Okay. I have Stockton ahead of him still. And I have Stockton ahead of him for a couple of reasons. Obviously, you look at the longevity and what he did historically. He has 2 records that will never be touched in assists and steals career, but never be touched, right?
Chris Paul's second in both, by the way.
Yeah. He went to 2 finals. Chris Paul's never been to 1. He was all NBA and, obviously, both of them 11 times all NBA. So that's a wash. He was also all defense. And I know Chris Paul's, one of the greatest defensive point guards of all time, if not the greatest defensive point guard of all time.
Let's stop. Because I want to ask you a question. Are we sure that Chris Paul's a better defensive point guard than John Stockton?
I think so.
If you're hesitating, then he's not the greatest defensive point guard of all time.
Say that again.
I said, if you're hesitating at all, comparing him to Stockton, then he's not the greatest defensive point guard of all time, because Gary Payton was a better defensive point guard than Stockton.
For sure. Gary Payton's the greatest. I'm sorry. You're right. Chris Paul is one of the greatest defensive point guards.
Antonio Daniels.
Wow. Now you're really.
Dyson Daniels is his younger brother.
But I would take Stockton. And then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take Chris Paul ahead of Jason Kidd by a smidge.
You should take him way fucking ahead of Jason Kidd. Way ahead.
But it goes back to the Isaiah thing for me, right?
Why?
Who affected winning? Jason Kidd went to the finals twice, dragged a terrible Nets team. Now, granted, it was a terrible East when they did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dragged a terrible Nets team to the finals twice. And got swept by the Lakers and then lost in 6 to the Spurs. Okay. Chris Paul never did that. And I'm not sure he was ever in a situation to do it, so I get that. Okay. But from a number standpoint, again, it goes back to the Isaiah.
Well, he was in a situation to go to finals for sure. Let's not give too long of a leash to Chris Paul. He was in a situation in Los Angeles where that mother sucker was loaded. That roster was legit. Sure. Chris Paul had some bad timing on injury stuff.
The injuries, especially whenever he was in Houston with Harden.
More than once. Bad timing on injury stuff.
I'll tell you, the one that I'm having the hardest time with is Nash. Is putting Paul ahead of Nash, and not even necessarily because of the MVPs, which, you know, Nash probably should have won one MVP, and it might have even been in the year that he didn't win MVP that he should have won it.
Yeah,
the third year.
Weird back then. I don't know what those voters were doing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that he wins 2 MVPs, and in that same era, he was probably the 9th best player,
8th best player. Well, he's got as many MVPs. Doesn't Shaq have one?
Shaq has 1. Kobe has 1.
And Kobe has 1. I was about to say the Nash has as many MVPs as Shaq and Kobe combined.
Yeah.
That just does not seem right.
Crazy. By the way, I know you've seen this video about LeBron and the accolades thing with Jordan, and they added Durant to it. And they said,
Jordan has more than both of them combined. So Jordan had 2 Hall of Fame careers. Yes, I've seen it. It's amazing because they line up all the trophies and you can see it on there.
They said it's not just that he's better than LeBron; it's that he's better than LeBron and Durant. Come on.
Yeah. Oh man, I meant to pull up a graphic. I had a graphic on my phone, and I meant to send it to you, but it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I know you get pissed when I text you at like 4:30 in the morning with my vampire stuff. Yeah. But I was going to send you. It was talking about how many all-star teammates the greats had, and they had Wilt, they had Russell, they had LeBron. I think I can't remember exactly, but some of them had 27 all-star teammates, meaning how many seasons they played where they had another player on their team that season that made an all-star. If the same, like, so Jordan had 6, and it was Pippen 6 times only, no other all-stars, right? So Jordan had 6 total seasons in his career where he had all-stars on his championship seasons, right? And it's a little bit skewed because, you know, Russell has so many championships. Obviously, he's going to have more all-star teammates because he's got 10 or 11 or whatever, right? 10, 11? Yeah. So, but it was like Jordan had 6 and everybody else was double figures. And LeBron was, you know, I think LeBron was pushing 20 somewhere in there.
Yeah, the dumbest argument ever for the LeBron-Jordan debate is to even hint that Jordan played with better talent.
That's right.
Like, it's absurd.
We've been through this. We've done this, Wade versus Pippen. We've done this, Kyrie, Anthony Davis. I mean, you go down the list and go on and on and on and on. And again, that's stopping at sidekicks. Yeah. If you want to go even deeper, okay, let's go past Pippen. Let's go to the next one. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Pick.
Yeah. Dennis Rodman. You're talking about a 32-year-old Dennis Rodman. That's going to be your pick versus a prime Kevin Love versus a prime Anthony Davis versus a prime, you know, Chris Bosh versus a prime fill in the blank. Now it's Doncic. Now it's, you know, come on. Yeah.
That's stupid. Anyhow. Okay. So look, we never answered the question.
So answer the question. Chris Paul is in your top 5 or not?
He is not in my top 5.
Because you have Oscar and Isaiah 3 and 4.
I have him. Yeah. And I have him 7 overall because I do put him behind Nash.
Who's 6? Nash. No.
Nash is 6 for me.
Oscar, Isaiah. Okay, so who do you have in front of him then? Why wouldn't Paul be 6? Stockton and Nash. Okay, Stockton, Nash, then Paul. And you would have Paul definitely ahead of James Harden.
Yes, because, again, I'm trying to win in the playoffs. If you just based it on regular season, James Harden would be a top 5 point guard of all time.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul has to be behind Stockton no matter what. I don't think you can make a logical argument to have him ahead of Stockton because his value is this, like, when you measure their value, if you say, why is Chris Paul one of the greatest point guards of all time? You would say he played forever. In the grand scheme of things, he was freaking durable. He played almost 1,400 games. He's probably going to go over 1,400 before he's done. So he was durable as hell.
Yep.
Theoretically, right? I know he got hurt in big situations, but he was an aggregate stat creator who was always on a good team.
Yes.
And you say that's exactly why John Stockton's value is what it is, but John Stockton in every single one of those measurables is just better.
Yes. Yeah,
And he's
and
better. He put up more total steals, more total assists. You know, he probably scored close to as many total points because he played so many games. What did we say on Stockton's games? 1,500 games.
What did he
Stockton played 130 more games than Chris Paul did, and Chris Paul's played forever. What
did Stockton shoot from the field? Over 50 for his career, I think.
51%, dude. That's 0.5 better than Chris Paul almost.
Yeah. So, and, you know, was never really trying to score. What did he end up averaging for his career? 13, 14 a game, something like
13,
that?
13 and 10.
I mean,
average
prime,
10.
But think about it. When he was in his prime, dude, he was having years averaging 17, 18 a game and like
13, 14. Yeah. 13, 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you know the highest assist per game career? It's not Stockton.
Magic. Yep. 12
Magic.
Or 11. What is it? 12?
It's up there.
I think it's 12.
Well, we gotta let Dyson Daniels finish, but right now it's Magic. Right now it's Magic. Maybe it'll be Dylan Harper or Reed Shepherd, although those guys like to shoot more than Magic did.
They're going to shoot it too much.
What else, Jonathan? Anything else happened in the NBA recently? Let's go look at the standings real quick, see if anything jumps out at us. The Thunder are 21-1. If you had to guess right now, you don't think they can do it. You don't think they can get to 7.
Oh, they can. I think they can. Yeah,
But you wouldn't bet on FanDuel if it was 50-50, even money. You'd bet not getting it?
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. I think their organization is too smart. I think you're not going to see – in order to do that, Shea's going to have to be playing upper 30s a game, and he's not going to do that once they get.
He's not. He's sitting. He's only played – they're 21-1. He's only played in 10 fourth quarters.
Oh, okay. So his minutes are down right now. Okay. Wow.
Are they down? He's barely averaging 30, and I think he's averaging more than he's right almost exactly a point a minute, which is never, you know. Embiid's the only one that's done that, I think.
How many good players they have. Like, that's the crazy thing. How many good players?
Okay, so listen, let me just pull it up. So I did a video. I'm going to try to pull it up for you guys.
74 wins, man. 74 wins. They're set up to do it. They're set up to do it.
Here's a little promotional. You can see this video. The Thunder own the NBA for the next decade. Big three, do they have it? Starting five, do they have it? Roster depth, do they have it? Contract situations, they've got guys taking less, and they signed all of them to long-term before the salary cap hike. Front office, obviously got that. He's like the only GM I can name for a good reason. Draft assets, do they have those? By the way, you do realize that right now they're projected to get the 5th, the 9th, the 14th, and the 30th pick. 4 first-round picks, 3 lottery picks right now.
It's crazy.
3 lottery picks. Do they have the coaching? Yeah, I like him. I like Dagnall, dude.
Yeah, he's good. Sam Presti has a crystal ball of some sort, dude.
Do you see anybody on that team that's an ego problem or a me first guy? Do you see a Reggie Jackson? Remember when Reggie Jackson thought he was better than Westbrook, so he had to go find his? There's not one player on that team like that, bro. And they all like each other, and they're all young, and they're all on great contracts, and their depth. In the Ringer 100 ranks the top 100 players, and it's an aggregate where they ask a bunch of experts, right? They didn't ask us for some reason, but they ask a bunch of experts. The Ringer 100, guess how many players on the Thunder they had in the top 100? Think about it. If there's 30 teams in the NBA, and there's 100 players on the list, that means on average, if all the teams were equal, you would have 3, maybe 4 players. Maybe 4 players. So great teams. Yeah, they had 8.
Oh my God.
8 of the top 100 players on one basketball team. So almost 3 times as many as you would expect from an NBA roster.
Wow.
And that was with some players that I thought deserved to be higher. They had Jalen Williams 17th. You think Jalen Williams is a top 17 player?
Yeah, I think he is. Which one of those 3 do you think would leave first?
Well, obviously it's Jalen Williams.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think that it would be realistic for Chet Holmgren to think he needs to be the alpha on his own team. I don't get that vibe.
Yeah.
I don't see that give me the fucking ball type deal from him.
Yeah.
I believe that at some point the mind will wander in Jalen Williams, and I don't know. He seems like he's all in right now. I'm just saying if at some point in the future somebody was going to say, I need to know, Jalen Williams would be the guy. And honestly, the second guy would be Cason Wallace, because I think Cason Wallace could be an all-star level player. He's not really allowed to play offense, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Jonathan, he's an elite defender. He's tied for the lead in steals right now.
He's not an all-star player, though. There's a reason why he's not allowed to play offense. I know those other guys, but when you keep what is the kid's name right now? The The lefty. Oh my God, we love him.
Oh, AJ Mitchell.
AJ Mitchell's allowed to play offense right now. So
AJ Mitchell might need his own team one day too. He might be Big Brunson. He might be Big Brunson.
He might be.
Yeah.
I guess is there a world that exists like these moves that could be made where the Thunder don't win the title, right? I'm not necessarily saying this year, but I think if they don't win it one of these next 2 years, I mean, you know how guys are, man. That could change everything. They could go, oh, I got to go over here.
We don't have enough. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's not – people forget. They went to 7 with Indiana last year. They went to 7 with Denver last year.
Dude, it's the NBA, man. It's hard and matchups matter. And I remember watching those games and I'm like, why in God's name can they not guard these idiots from Indiana? Why can they not stop them from scoring? What is so hard about it? I'm looking around and it's a bunch of dudes, Neesmith and Nembhard and Siakam. And I know Halliburton stirs the drink, but I mean, it's like these dudes – Miles Turner was a freaking statue. Like, why in God's name can't they stop these dudes?
How many games did Halliburton miss in that series? I know the end he got hurt in 7. I think he missed a game too, didn't he?
Yeah, he might have. I can't remember.
So I'm just saying, dude, like this is not a lock. Everybody, I know they're better this year than they were last year. There's no question. I just don't think when you get to the playoffs, it's not easy to score. It's hard to score. You know, I mean, that's why SGA impressed me last year because sure, his efficiency went down a little bit, but that sucker was trying to kill you every night, you know?
Here's something people haven't thought of. Don't look now, but you remember what the Spurs did when they got Duncan?
Yeah.
Well, the Pacers right now are 4-17.
Yeah.
And so I've pulled up my handy dandy website called Tankathon, where they kind of track who's likely to get what picks. And here, where you can see it right now, this right here, this is Oklahoma City's pick from the Los Angeles Clippers for the incredible Paul George trade that was made for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Here is the Utah pick that is coming to Oklahoma City. And here is the Philadelphia pick that is coming to Oklahoma City as of right now. So right now, they're projected to get the 5th, the 8th, and the 14th. The 5th and the 8th.
The 9th.
No, it's the 8th actually on average. It's 9th right here, but like the average is that they would be the 8th pick.
I got you.
So it's complicated. But what I wanted to bring your attention to is there is a 41% chance that the Indiana Pacers could get the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And if you come back with a healthy Halliburton, you've got a Nembhard.
Yep.
You've got, Neesmith is dealing with some kind of injury, but you got Mathurin who's making moves. You've still got Siakam under contract who fits with whatever the hell. He could fit anywhere, right? He fits literally anywhere. They don't really have a center. And this draft doesn't really have a center. And Cam Boozer's not a center. He's 6'9". By the way, how much have you watched of Boozer, Darren Peterson, and DeBonsa?
Haven't seen a
none.
Minute. Yeah, 0. Are they good?
I'm anxious for you to watch DeBonsa and get your opinion and see if it's the same as mine.
Okay. Boozer's legit.
I'm not gonna lead you in any given direction.
Okay.
But there is a 100% chance as of December 3rd that I would take Darren Peterson over DeBonsa. 100%. I don't care what happens the rest of the season. I've seen what I need to see.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see if you see what I see when you watch DeBonsa play.
I've heard that tone before out of you, and that means it's not that you're not as impressed as you thought you might be. It's that you're not remotely impressed. So
not that. It's not that. It's I don't see. He's skilled.
Yeah.
He's 6'10" allegedly, which means he's probably 6'9". I just see when I see Darren Peterson, and I've seen 15 minutes of college, and I've watched a lot of stuff from high school. When I see Darren Peterson, I see a bigger Damian Lillard. When I see DeBonsa, I see a little bit bigger, a little bit better Evan Turner.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think DeBonsa could possibly be a bust. I'm not saying that. I don't think it can't be a bust.
Yeah.
Cam Boozer is a bust. I think Cam Boozer is going to be a very
that's
average.
what I was going to ask you. You don't think
I've watched him play. He's 6'8.5", 6'9", not athletic at all.
Oh, wow.
Has no ability to play the wing position in any way, shape, or form. So he has to be a post player.
Okay.
I don't see any of the things that people are saying about Cam Boozer. I do not see that at all. Like at all, nothing. I don't see anything. I mean, we've seen clips of this kid from Virginia Tech that I would take over Cam Boozer for sure. And I keep forgetting the foreign kid's name, but he's somebody that everybody needs to keep their eye on over there. I have a feeling his name's going to come up a lot when the draft starts.
He's nice, dude.
He's nice. He's nice. I wonder if we can projected 2026 NBA draft lottery.
So Boozer's deal is just based on his last name, ultimately.
And he was bigger and stronger than everybody, for the longest time. Let's see. The Brooklyn Nets, they got Darren Peterson 1, DeBonsa 2, Boozer 3. Haven't seen the Nadamit kid from Tennessee. I have not seen him, but maybe we can go see him at an LSU game. Yeah. Caleb Wilson, have not seen him play at all. Mikael Brown, haven't seen him play at all. Senac, have not seen him play at all. This kid I have not seen play at all. Again, obviously, it's very clear we don't watch college basketball.
But the word is that this draft might be better, right?
This draft is deep. Yeah. There's our guy from Virginia Tech. This is the guy that you and I saw.
He's nice, dude. Yeah,
we were in love immediately. 16, 3.5, and 6. Yeah, this is the kid right here. And if I remember, what do they list him at? I think the kid looked like he was about 6'9". What do they list him at? 6'9", 215 from Kalamata, Greece. Yeah. So does not look the part, but I assure you that is what Matas Buzelis probably looked like when he was playing in college. He's turning into a pretty good player as well. Yes, so that's our sleeper, Jonathan. Avdalas is his name.
Yes, and we have to say it like that. Avdalas.
Abdalas is our player to keep an eye on. All right, that's it, man. We're at an hour. Go pet Zeus. Watch his teeth.
Done, no doubt.
Watch his teeth. All right. What's our next topic? What do we say we're going to do our next topic? It's still too early for our all-star selection. What?
Redraft?
What do you want to redraft? You want to redraft the Ja and Zion draft? You want to redraft 2019?
Let's do it.
Let's redraft 2019. Now, here's my question when I hear about these redrafts. Are you redrafting them as though you're just basing it on what they've done, or are you redrafting it based on what you would do again? Like, would you try again? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, it's one of the same, isn't it?
Well, it's not because, let's just say Zion, snapped his leg in half and never played basketball again. Like, obviously, you would not draft him at all, knowing that happened. But if we're doing a redraft, that means we're going back in time and maybe we get a healthy version of Zion. Maybe we take that risk, or you know what I'm saying? I'm just using that as a hypothetical.
No, I think
like Greg Oden. Like if we did a redraft on the Greg Oden draft, no one would draft Greg Oden.
Correct.
But if we're really redrafting, I'm taking Greg Oden first over Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't then either, though. So that's
okay. I'll take him second. I would take Durant first. I would take him second. I would take him over Derrick Rose. Wasn't that the same draft?
No, Derrick Rose was the number 1 pick.
Derrick Rose number 1 pick.
Yeah.
They were 1 year apart, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like Oden, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Beasley was another guy in that draft, I think.
Beasley and Rose were together, weren't they?
That's right.
That's what it was, yeah. So you see what I'm saying? Like, if we're doing a redraft, is it just whatever happened? Because then we're just ranking the players from the draft. That's not a redraft.
I think it is. I think you have to do it based on what they've done to date. I think that's how you have to do it.
Well, then we're just ranking the players in the draft.
Well, that's
of who's had a better career. That's all we're doing. That's not a redraft.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I don't understand what the difference is in knowing what you know now.
Well, the difference is if we redrafted it and just ran it back, right? We were just running a program. Zion's, again, he's probably still going to have injury concerns, but like if he goes to the Spurs, he may play in more than 220 games in 7 seasons. He may play in 450 games.
Yeah, but
he also may behave himself. He also may eat, gluten-free. Yeah, there's all kinds of shit. He might have a coach who holds him accountable. He may not have as many hookers in in San Antonio, or uglier hookers.
Don't you think that we have to do it based on the teams and the positions they had then? In 2019, don't you have to do it? Yeah.
Yeah. Which means we'd have to do research. It makes me not want to do it.
I like the idea. I like the idea of ranking them. Where you rank it. Let's just rank the draft. Ranked 2019 draft. See where those two guys fall.
It's going to get really boring at like 8.
Based on who you, I don't know, man. Those two dudes might drop for me way further than that from a standpoint of who I want on my team.
Well, that's another thing we could do is who from the 2019 draft do we want on our team right this second?
Yeah, that's it. That would
What
be
would that called? That would be something new. I don't think anybody's done that. What would we call that?
That would be
We should call that something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It could be the draft of who you want on your team right now.
I tell you who I want on my team is Avdalas.
I know I want him on my team.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'm going to call him the Avdalas. I'm going to call him the Avdalas.
What if he was Da Avdalas?
I want to draft the Avdalas.
Da Avdalas.
All right. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Old Head Hoops. If you've got any ideas on what our next topic should be, literally, we clearly need help. We are looking for requests. Give us something. Nothing about horses. We've done that. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Get it? See where we're going with that? Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Put your ideas in the comments. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. There's the pinkies. Peace.